of us should pull up the stream.
And welcome back to Candela Obscura Mr. Nightfall, this very fun one-shot on Nerds with Dice. We are in the collegiate neighborhood of Briar Green, investigating some murders. I feel like I had to enunciate it as murderer very dramatically. I mean, you don't know they're murders, but they're probably murders. Let's be honest. This is Candela Obscura. It's almost certain. You have been sent to investigate reports of people dying and also strange reports of an urban legend called Mr. Nightfall that has been seen roaming the area. Most recently, our wonderful brave circle of investigators, as yet unnamed, but currently posing as the Circle of the Christiansens, a lovely family, has found this monument in the middle of the park where something has ripped its way free from the flare filled with eldritch magic and left. And you've also found some mysterious flower petals and were perhaps being observed by someone or something in the shadows. And as we pick up, the three of you, along with Dr. Wanderly, that you have perhaps dragged along with you for her own safety, are heading. Actually, that's a great question. How are you heading out of the park since only one of you was technically seen entering the park's gates?
I am just running. I'm just running.
Yeah, we're just going out the way that we came in. That's really that guy's issue.
The three of you and Dr. Wanderly book it out of the main gate and are moving fast enough that you hear from the same very, very haggard, bedraggled clerk. You do start to hear cries of like, hey, wait a minute, where did all of you come from? Dr. Wanderly, I knew you were in here, but hey, wasn't your ankle sprained? You shouldn't be running. And you just keep going.
I just call back, be better at your job.
I am
stop for effects away.
I am visibly limping, so
all of you sprint back out of the park. And at what point do you stop running? When you've hit the like main street of shops and are in fact away from whatever that was?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And what do all of you do once you're there?
Well, what happened back there?
I saw, I like looked out and there was like a hat thing and it moved in a scary manner. I mean, it moved.
A hat.
It was like a hat and there wasn't like anything under it. Ooh. You know what I mean? It was just kind of, I mean.
What do you mean there was nothing under it?
It was kind of.
Maybe somebody lost their hat.
No, it was
like a ghastly, ghostly figure.
No, it was like a hat.
But what was under the hat?
Nothing.
Maybe we should have taken the
hat.
So
it was invisible. So it was just a floating hat?
Yes.
No, I think it was just a hat that was stuck in a tree.
It moved. It moved toward. It moved somewhere. I don't know if it was toward. I didn't like it. It had bad energy. I didn't like. I mean, I was also just scared.
April, we trust your intuition.
It was scary.
I understand.
I didn't like it.
Do you need water or a breather?
Yeah, I think could we go into the sprained ankle is not a fake thing, guys. That was a thing that happened.
Well, Dr. Wanderly, do you have maybe something that we can wrap April's ankle with?
Yes, I have ice and compression bandages if you'd like to go to my office. It's honestly pretty close to the apothecaries. I buy a lot of herbs from them.
Perfect.
She leads the three of you a little ways down the street, and you see in one building, kind of painted with a blue wash, very unassuming, is her office. And as she's doing the keys to that, which is just an unmarked door, you can look across the street and see there is a building painted kind of gaudily with like a lot of gilt edging that didn't really need to be there, with a big sign out front and very colorful, like almost stained glass windows that a couple people are going into and out of. That's marked as Vane's Apothecary.
Maybe you should go. Like I don't think you need to be. No, go.
Don't worry. Just get your ankle wrapped. We're here for you, darling.
Like you should go to the to do the thing. I don't know if we all need to be here waiting on me.
Not without you.
Not without you.
Just get your ankle wrapped.
You get led into the little front room of Dr. Wanderley's office, and she goes off to get some bandages and then comes back and April doesn't actually immediately, unless you ask, wrap your ankle for you, but hands them over to you and essentially gives you some instruction on how to do it yourself. You get the sense that she's maybe trying not to add insult to injury.
Yeah,
quite literally.
April's being very proud about this, and she's going to try to wrap it herself. She's very like.
And as you're doing that, she's still making notes in her little notebook. She seemed very just unfazed by most things that have happened so far, and does at one point say, "You said a floating hat."
Yeah, it was like,
a hat flying, like a top hat.
It was like a. April's like kind of making up details now. It was like a wool kind of thing, I guess. I don't know what hats are made of.
Well, I'm also not a milliner, but in addition to not being a bleed expert or technically a coroner, though, again, here we are. But
it seems like you're a woman of many talents.
April's just like increasingly suspicious of this.
Did April say that, or is April just feeling
it? No, April just out of the blue goes, April is increasingly suspicious.
Yeah. No, I'm just, that is the vibe. Like she's not about this. It's very suspicious.
Dr. Wanderley does kind of look up and go, well, I can't speak again to the make or model of the hat very much, but that does at least correspond to some of the reports of a Mr. Nightfall that I believe there have been in the area, though I suppose I'm not
Can you
meant to
tell
know
us about this Mr. Nightfall?
Yes.
Well, let's see. Urban legend, not a confirmed source of bleed that I know, at least from my time corresponding with Candela, which was well over a decade ago, I will admit. Again, not particularly my friends, not my organization, but not my foes. Seems to be a entity, the shape of a man wearing dark clothing, seen only in the darkest of nights, and supposedly surrounded by petals, I think, of some sort of particular flower, belladonna or nightshade or something. And if you see him, you die. Doesn't specify anything more than that from what I've heard. But recently there have been a couple different reports of people seeing this man walking about, and quite a furor about amongst all the students about it. I think there's been at least one interpretive device theater piece that somebody is writing over in the theater department that I must admit I will be quite curious to see when that goes to stage. But lots of rumors, very little detail.
Multiple things you're saying do not make sense. First of all, why would this correspond to him when we saw this hat, and by we I mean the amazing April, saw the hat in broad daylight? And second of all, if anyone who sees this Mr. Nightfall dies, how does anyone have a story about him?
These are phenomenal questions. I wish I had answers, and that I didn't disagree with you that they don't make sense, but they certainly don't make sense to me. This is why I tend to write it off.
So would the hat haunt April, since April looked at the hat?
Don't say that.
I didn't mean
We will keep you safe.
We will keep you safe, April.
It is now all the more important that we do not let April out of our sight. You should send a note to your professors that you will not be attending class today.
I'm sorry,
like,
April.
Actively sulking while wrapping
Um,
her ankle.
Alternatively, Johnny,
Yes,
we could attend class with April.
that is correct. We could
We
do
should
that.
focus on fixing our Hat Man problem.
I mean, I think it would be exciting to take a comp lit class.
No, I think I'd rather just focus. If the Hat Man goes away, then I can go to class safely.
Yeah, because if
That's
April
true.
goes to the class and Hatman's following April, we don't want the whole classroom to die.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's true. That's true. What if we are only able to protect April and Hatman kills everyone else in the class?
Just
Yeah,
Dr.
that'd be very
Wanderly's
good.
notebook at this point is like fully in front of her face, and you get the sense she's actively trying to hide her laughter.
We could not have that many children's lives on our hands.
Yeah, especially since we're like so new.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be great on the resume.
No.
It is a delight to see all of you taking your responsibilities so
Yeah.
seriously against the incorporeal threats
Yeah.
that I don't know if I believe fully in. But again, there you have it. That's the case with legends. People take from them what they will and do with them what they will.
I would like to serve. Is that beeping right? Or am I crazy?
Sorry. It is a garbage truck outside.
A garbage truck rumbles down the street of Briarbank.
Yeah.
It's got good infrastructure.
Yeah.
as
Can I
you-
survey the area to make sure no hat man following April?
Yeah, give me a survey roll as April finishes up wrapping her ankle just in this little office. Are
I'll
you
use
looking
my-
just in the office or like out the window?
Out the window too.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a survey roll.
I'll use my gilded dice too. 5, but not on the gilded dice.
Nice. On a 5, you don't see any strange figures without a face standing in the street. It's getting on in the afternoon, in the time that's taken all of you to come down here and kind of decompress and discuss, and it's maybe more like 3-ish as time ticks along. There's a lot of people out in the streets. You note, actually, on a 5, I will say that you note a particular influx of people coming in and out of the apothecary. Perhaps more than most other shops on the street. It seems kind of busy. And I will also say that on a 5, this little medical office seems, you note that it is very unassuming, very unmarked, but I think you recognize with your explorer skills that parts of it have been fortified. The doorways are meant to close and kind of shut almost like blast doors. And you suspect that it does not give you any sense of threat. It rather gives you the sense that Dr. Wanderly perhaps is a very unassuming and polite person on purpose and likes to take care of herself and ward against threats.
Gotcha. You keep that noted.
All right, shall we
as-
head to the apothecary?
Yes.
Dr. Wanderly sees all of you out the door and gives you a little nod and a wave before shutting in. Just says, if you need me, I will be here through the evening.
Is there a particular knock that we should affect if we want to let you know that it's safe?
A wise idea. Let's say 3 knocks in succession, a pause, and then 2 more knocks.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Wise thought. I admire that. Good looking out. And she closes the door and you hear the lock click.
Thanks, Doc.
All right.
Do the 3 of you go across to the apothecary?
Yes.
You head across and it's fairly busy in here. You go up a series of steps past all of this glass that's tinted with various colors. This building, again, is very colorful and bright, and clearly has had a lot of money put into essentially its marketing department, for lack of anything better. And you enter into a large room with a long counter running along one side, and several different shelves going up to the ceiling, with just all manner of ingredients and herbs and components for different things and remedies. And there's two people behind the counter. One is an older gentleman wearing very nice clothing, a nice vest and waistcoat and bow tie, who is sitting kind of further back near a door to a back room, sitting down, looking through some sort of account book or something. The person who is directly working the counter looks much younger. He's a young man with very, like, a big shock of curly hair and a big apron, and he's kind of running around attending to everybody, of which there is a fair number of people here.
I'll turn to someone nearby. Oh my, it looks very busy in here. Whatever could be the hubbub?
You turn to what is clearly like a first or second year student, who kind of jumps and almost goes to hide the piece of paper they're holding in their hand, but then relents and kind of uncrumples it, and you see a big flyer for Vane's Apothecary, and there's a series of different, like, bottles with pink and purple colors on them. And the flyer says essentially, Vane's Apothecary, get here all of your remedies for exam luck and good fortune, bottled from the petals and flowers of all sorts of local legends.
Huh. And I take it and I show it to April and Johnny.
Interesting.
Well, this is, Johnny, something that we should keep in mind. We could definitely use similar marketing to get more people coming to hallowed grounds.
Yeah. Also, I work with Camilla. Yeah.
Could I take a look around and see if anything on the shelves look like they have like content similar or like that involve the flowers that we've seen, the petals that I saw?
Yeah. I will not make you roll for that. You look around and not immediately, not like at clear line of sight, but looking a little bit closer, if you scoot a little ways down, you can see that just under the counter, there's 2 or 3 glass jars, most of which look fairly depleted by this point in the day, that look to be filled with different variants of kind of purple pinkish petals, just like the ones that you picked up, that are kind of tucked away, easily accessible, but they're under the counter.
So it's like on the merchant's side of the counter.
Yes. Yeah. It's in the way that they're not like, you can't see them as the first thing that you walk into, but clearly as a frequently used item for the merchant. And the young man, as you kind of scooch up, actually, that's a great question. How well do you think that April knows other students at college?
Oh, I don't think
Or
she
would recognize them?
knows. I don't think she knows any of these people. For reference, her read is a 0. So I don't think she knows any of these people. If they are not directly in her classes, who even are these people?
You get a little bit closer to the counter to note this, and then immediately find yourself caught in everyone's least favorite social situation, as the young man behind the counter, who you clock is now college aged, clearly recognizes you, who you do not recognize, and kind of breaks away from the customer serving for a moment to go, "Oh, hi, April?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, we had a class together last semester, I think, right?"
I think so. I mean,
I put a hand on Johnny's shoulder. Look, she's making friends.
yeah,
She's doing such a good job.
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't. Maybe. I think. Yeah.
Could I
Yeah,
roll?
go ahead. What was that?
No, I was good. I was like, can I roll to know if I recognize the student encounter? Maybe they went to the coffee shop and stuff just to help out the nervousness.
Absolutely. Give me a, let's say, a focus roll for that.
Okay.
As you're doing that, he clearly is also feeling a little bit awkward about this interaction, but just kind of gives you a nod. It's like, yeah. One of the
It's a 6.
literary device analysis classes. I wasn't really
Oh, yeah.
paying a lot of attention to everyone in there, so
It's
sorry.
one of the what are they called? God,
Electives?
it's been so long. It's like this is above table. It's been so long since I took a college class. I don't remember. I don't remember what they're called.
Electives?
No, one of
General
the really
ed.
big ones. One of the
Oh.
really
Seminar.
big ones.
Core.
Seminar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Lecture halls.
Yeah.
Here's kind of nice. It was one of the seminars. I was in the back most of the
Oh
time.
yeah.
Sandhya leans forward and whispers, "Give him the blueberry crumble." He'll like that one.
Like to me, she doesn't know that.
You remember you took a whole bunch of pastries?
Oh yeah.
And
He's on the job. I can't be feeding this man on the job.
give him the strawberry crumble.
She's like outright ignoring this.
Like Johnny will step in
Johnny will-
with like what John. I got a 6 for the focus here. So
Nice.
Johnny slides in and be like, "Hey, it's been a long time since I seen you at the shop." It's like, I got some pastries here. Here's a blueberry crumble. How's it going, man?
Thank you so much. And you see he goes to reach for the blueberry crumble, and then from back at the desk, the older gentleman, without looking up from the book, just snaps across the space at him, Mr. Slate, you're on the clock. No distractions, please. And you see this gentleman kind of jumps back and goes, I'm so sorry.
Sandhya is going to move on over to the gentleman. Hello.
The one in the back.
Yeah.
He does not look up from his book. Hello, how may I help you today?
I think I recognize you. Have you ever been to the Hallowed Grounds?
No, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I tend not to leave Briar Green. I find it has most things that I need.
Oh, but you haven't had my coffee.
He kind of looks up, gives you honestly a rather just disparaging look at that, and scoffs. It's like, thank you. I make my own. I tend not to go to shops for that.
And she basically, in what looks like a little bit of a magic move, poofs out like a a macaron. Just give it a try.
He looks at that with great confusion for a long moment, and then we'll just slowly take it and go, what is this?
It's a macaron.
You watch as he takes a bite, swallows it, and then kind of contorts for a minute. And as somebody that has seen many people eat the thing or the drink that's perfect for them, that he definitely enjoyed that, which is why it's a choice when he looks back up at you and kind of tosses it carelessly down to the desk and goes, it's a little bit dry, but thank you. If you need to be served, Mr. Slate will
Honestly,
see to your needs.
honestly, while I appreciate the young folk and how enthusiastic they can be, I am really in the need of a man of knowledge.
Kind of looks up at you, talks to the side. All right. Well, I'm certainly the one to come to for that. What can I help
That's what I thought. And she opens the handkerchief full of petals. Um, a dear friend left these petals behind, and I wanted to, it made me think that maybe she needed a new one of these plants. And I was wondering if you could help me figure out what plant it is.
He takes them and starts to look through them. And as he does, you can give me a read roll on him.
Yeah.
As you do that, we'll cut briefly back over to while this interaction is happening. The pastry that Mr. Slate, the younger one, was not able to take initially, he kind of observes his boss's attention being taken and then starts to very slowly, Johnny, reach out and take it from your hand.
I was like, I won't tell anyone.
Thank you so much. I did not take my lunch break because we were so busy today, so this is appreciated.
I was like, yeah, you guys are busy today. You doing all right? What's even going on today?
Yeah, it's the last weekend before midterms, and we're here at Vane's Apothecary. We have a bunch of different unique remedies for stimulants for your late nights, focusing on exams. And I mean, if you've heard any of the recent rumors about supernatural beings, it's often said that the petals left by one Mr. Nightfall can help bring luck or bring fortune. I mean, actually seeing the guy apparently apparently kills you or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah, who believes
but the
those
petals,
stories?
those are good luck. Those are great.
Petals are good luck.
And we sell them. We sell remedies made from that here, so you can purchase them, and everyone has been.
Nice. It sounds like a great marketing. It sounds like, how does he like be like?
He starts laughing at that.
Yeah,
It's great marketing.
yeah. So
sorry, what were you saying?
So with this Nightfall shade guy, they do like, is it like he gets something about like a ritual or something? Do you have like ritual books here, like to help y'all pray to get an A on a test or something?
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen the guy myself, so I don't know how you get around bringing him to this place. But yeah, no, he's just kind of showed up, been wandering in the park. That's been what's happening.
Yeah.
And you note that, April, you actually note his eyes dart to you in a way just for a second. Can I get you anything?
No.
Two of you. Sorry, we're really, really busy.
No.
I'm running around a lot, so you sure you don't want anything? I might have to ask the line to.
Yeah. She is very aware of. She doesn't. She also just wants to get out of this conversation because she's like, she can't call him Mr. Slate. She doesn't know this guy. Like, at some point, we're gonna realize that she doesn't know this kid's first name.
So Slade, have you been doing the petals to get good luck?
No, not me. My luck is bad these days. So maybe.
Why'd you say that?
What does that mean?
No, it's nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Just it's a stressful job working here. And he says that and then kind of looks over his shoulder to see if he said it too loudly. Sundia, you notice on read. What did you get on your read roll?
So I used a drive to get another D6, and I have a 6.
Nice.
Yay.
On a 6, you notice, first of all, you can see that the older gentleman dressed very nicely has a name tag that says Mr. Vane, as in Vane's Apothecary. And he gives the petals a look, and you can tell very quickly he's giving them like a cursory show look. He's trying to give you the appearance that he's looking through them and is not actually doing anything about it. And you get from him a sense of kind of a little bit of concern or nervousness that is then squashed beneath kind of careless amusement. And he shakes them out after a minute and goes, yes, these are some of the petals left behind by the apparition Mr. Nightfall, I believe. I don't know what your friend told you about a plant, but we can essentially bottle those and turn them into good luck remedies, all sorts of things to help with exams or fortune in life. I'm afraid they're useless as is, but if you purchase them from us, however, we can certainly make them worth your while.
And where exactly are you getting these petals?
Oh, we've just been finding them around. In the streets, sometimes in the park, you say. That apparition's been wandering everywhere. It's quite strange.
Mm. So you don't even know what plant it's from?
No, couldn't say. It's something to do with, the supernatural, the world beyond. Ooh. Or so everybody here believes, and will pay good money for. Either way, it's good business. And his smile doesn't really reach his eyes at that.
I'm going to collect these petals back. He does not get my hard-earned petals.
His hand goes to take them for just a second before you take them away for him. He almost, without really realizing that he's done it, he goes to sweep them into his things before you take them back, as if he's forgotten that you haven't sold them to him or given them to him freely.
If you had any other information that might interest me, I might be willing to part with these.
Information? Information about what exactly?
Mr. Nightfall. How you might be related to Mr. Nightfall. How I might speak to Mr. Nightfall.
I must admit to you, we simply have no relation to Mr. Nightfall here. We are just humble apothecaries, making the best we have with what resources are around at this convenient midterm season. On that 6 read roll, that's whatever that was. That's not true.
Yeah,
I
will not make you roll again for that. You do not think that is a genuine statement in any way.
I was like,
yeah,
did Johnny
this
hear
is
the conversation or anything?
Super.
Or...
I'll come tell Johnny about it. It's this super. Well then, I mean, hopefully I don't open up a competing store next door.
That would truly be terrible. But I'm sure we have no worries of that.
No.
And Mr. Vane gets up, and you see he takes his stuff and starts heading into one of the back rooms. But before he can, calls out, just, Mr. Slate, are you good to run the shop for the remaining half an hour we have until closing, right around sundown, I believe? And in front of you, April and Johnny, the young Mr. Slate, who has some dark bags under his eyes, he has not been sleeping much, kind of says in a voice much more chipper than his face, sure, yep, Mr. Vane, I'm all good for that. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Do you
Is that too?
Yeah, I'm real guy. Could you? Does he make you to stay after I mean, I realize that I'm whispering and you can't hear what I'm asking.
I can hear your whisper.
I can hear it and read it.
Yeah. What do you say to him specifically?
I'm like asking, like, do you see like is there any like off the books where like I don't know exactly how she phrases it, but she's basically trying to ask him if he does like any like off the books or like anything like because it seems a little.
You say that, and his eyes go like wide and way too quickly. He goes, "No, why would you say that? No, definitely no,
There's,
totally
like,
not."
There's like a student union type situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he yeah, he just did not want to join that. When they organized that last semester, was not a fan of that, and I kind of wanted to join that, but that would have meant my job getting lost, and I need it.
Is there any like non Monday like anything super weird?
Give me a sway roll.
Okay, I am going to spend 2 drives on this.
Oh, I can lend you a
Like, I
drive.
can lend a drive. Let's just
Okay.
I was about to say, and the two of you are very welcome to help. It is now like just most of the customers have gotten served or are clearing out, and the sun is kind of starting to get a little bit lower. So it's now the three of you are kind of around the counter with this poor guy.
Yeah.
like,
He's like fully like leaning across the counter. Imagine it's
John-
like one of those really high ones, so she's just like tippy toes, like
Yeah.
Johnny probably take us a couple steps back to talk to Sandia and be like, "So what happened back there?"
And I pass on the information.
Wait.
It
How many
is-
drives do I have? I have a 0 in sway, so I spend 1 drive, so it's 1, and then it's 2.
And then
you
we've
got
both given
We'll
you
give
one.
you
Okay,
one.
so that's 4 total.
As like, is the Mr. Vane, is he still is he just in the back room, or did he like leave completely?
He went into the back room, but he went into the back room and closed the door. He seems to be out of the room for the moment. Honestly, actually, I'll revise that. Say you're not sure if he may have gone out a back way because he
Yeah.
had just asked his assistant if he could run the shop. So he may have just departed, but he's certainly gone for the moment.
He's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
And John is like, got it, and goes right back to the back door. Go to that door area, and he just like wait until y'all do the interrogation first before he gets handsy.
Nice.
All right, so
Nice,
that's a 2, 3, 3, and then a 6.
Yay!
So we're doing better. We're slowly getting better.
there. We're getting there.
4 D6s will get you there. On a 6, you say that leaning very close into Jonathan, who is now like, oh yeah, that's his name. Who
She
is
doesn't know
now,
that.
yeah, I was about to say, she does not know that. But to Mr. Slate, who is clearly incredibly flustered and like lying more and more badly. And there's a long moment. He kind of just waits, looks at you, looks back at the door, and sees Johnny is now standing there guarding it. And you watch kind of his facade collapse a little bit. And he like leans forward on the counter and goes, okay, you seem, if I tell you something that sounds kind of incriminating, will you believe me when I say I didn't do anything bad?
Yeah, no. Of course.
Okay, so I know, I mean, everybody knows that like 2 people died. We're not supposed to, but I mean, there's people guarding the gate. Everybody knows it's a college campus where it travels fast. I'm prefacing this with, I did not kill anybody.
Oh no.
And I don't like murder, and that's bad, and I don't do that. And I'm prefacing this so that when you hear the next part, you don't get mad at me. I'm just saying that. So Vane is terrible. If you didn't get that impression. I saw you earlier when you were sneaking around the park. I left my hat there,
Ugh.
and I had to go back to get it. I'm not a weird supernatural being. I'm a college student, but he came up with this great scheme to make money off of pretending there was a legend walking about, and then we could like sell those flower petals. I don't really know the whole deal, but I've had to go dress up in a black tuxedo and walk around the park ominously at night so that everybody thinks that thing is real, so they'll come and buy stuff from us.
Hmm.
That's been what I've been doing with my evenings instead of like studying for midterms, which I would honestly rather be doing. I'll be real. I don't know about the murder stuff though. And I'm getting kind of nervous that somebody's going to come asking me questions about that, because I did not. I know I was in the park. I know people were found dead in the park. Didn't do it. That wasn't me. I swear to God.
Okay, I recommend you a bunch of things. First of all, you do need to quit your job. It's very bad here. Second of all, you should stop wandering around the park. You need to trust me on this. You need to stop wandering around the park. I believe you that you are not doing the murders. There are murders
That's real
happening.
good to hear. That's real good to hear.
The
Thank
murders
you.
are happening. Could you? I will tell him as confidently as possible. Oof.
Store phone.
Yeah.
They
Johnny
totally
exist.
did. He goes to take the phone.
Johnny goes take it for him.
It's a telecaller.
I was like, oh, okay.
So
We get those all the
Um,
time. It's fine.
it's almost sundown. I strongly recommend. First of all, I strongly recommend to go across. Don't go into the park. You know, you should go across to Dr. Wanderley, and I will relay the knock. That's like what it's like, whatever it was.
3 pause
Yeah.
2.
Yes. And tell her that I had sent you and that you can trust her. She's very suspicious, but you know, why am I dropping into this cadence all of a sudden? I
Doctor?
yes.
Honestly, that sound. I really have been feeling like I need to
I
see a
think-
doctor lately. I've got to like. I haven't been sleeping, and I've been like
Yes.
getting weird. Like sometimes I don't.
You can
Yeah, my vision goes weird, and I like see like it's like there's a film or a veil or cloth pieces or
Really?
something. Yeah, and it's. I feel like I'm just not getting enough sleep. So could she help with that too? Is she like? Is she a
yes.
psychiatrist or-
Yes. Does that
Okay, great.
Darling, were you in the park last night?
I mean, yeah, I was doing the Mr. Nightfall thing. Yeah.
Do you remember seeing anybody in the park last night?
He like kind of bites at his lip and thinks for a minute. There was a couple people walking around. And then there was there was Angel from like down the hallway who I passed at one point, who looked very scared of me. And there was the Clune, the guest, whatever, the person who did the terrible talk about like Lothiel.
I didn't
like,
go to that. So.
Yeah, me neither. I was just seeing all the posters, but I passed her at one point, and then I just kept going, and then came back here and changed.
Do you know like what time? Well, I don't know how. I don't know if you have a pocket watch or something.
He pulled out like a pocket watch
Do you
on a chain.
know? Do you know what time you saw like Clume at any point?
I've been going out from like 11 to 1, so it was probably closer to midnight. It was right by the like the big central gravel area with the tall thingy in the center of the park. She was there. I think she was having a cigarette.
Okay,
then
you should not go near
sometimes-
that.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like there's a veil over your eyes.
Well, and he kind of laughs a little bit. And from his pocket, he pulls out. It looks like a thin disc of of like cardboard for a second, and then he does a little like flip, and it's a top hat that extends out, and he reaches a hand in and pulls down a piece of black fabric, and he goes, well, sometimes there's a literal fail, because to do the whole no facial features thing, I had to sew this in. But no, sometimes when it's really late at night, or I'm sleeping, or I'm trying to get home from class, I've been getting weird like floater vision things in my eyes almost, and it feels really painful.
Can I use my bleed detector? I think
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a bleed detector too?
Hands in his pocket watch. He just whip it open. No, but not detect. But what do I need to roll?
I'm going to say for a bleed detector, roll sense, and you will get something regardless because it's a bleed detector. This is just figuring out the specifics.
Okay. I have nothing. I'll use a drive. That is a 4.
Nice. As you're doing that, Jonathan seems to have been suddenly kind of invigorated by talking to nice people that believe him and don't yell at him all the time. Mr. Slate goes and you see him flip the sign on the door to closed a little bit early. And there's a few people out on the stoop who he kind of shoos away with. So sorry, we're closing early for important herb reasons. And he closes the door and kind of looks back at all of you. I don't know. What would we close early for? It doesn't matter. They'll believe me. And as he kind of goes to lean against the door, you're looking through the bleed detector, and you can see, like in the little viewfinder of it, not the outline of his body in the light is glowing like a dark black gold with bleed. Just the outline, almost silhouetting him. And it's very strong. And he keeps talking, unaware of why you're looking at this watch. Okay, so you said go to the doctor who is nice and across the street and can help me. What else do you advise? I will try to figure out a way to quit the job. I kind of need it, but like also, at what point do I call it quits, you know?
Yeah, totally. I assume April's not yet aware of this bleed situation. She's just like, yeah, totally.
Johnny's gonna put a chair in front of the door handle just in case. I don't know, to lock the doctor in for protection or capture later. But either way, he's
Mr. Slate.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Mr. Vane.
Vane. Mr. Vane, right.
We'll put a lock in there because at least he's taken care of, just in case he doesn't know. He's like either protection or we're jail.
Just casually slide the door. Absolutely.
And then he'll walk over to Son real fast.
You seem like really stressed.
Like, leans over and whisper.
Yeah, it's been bad.
We need to take care of Mr. Slade here, he whispers. And then shows off his detector casually, be like, look at the time.
Oh my, it is very late.
Give me a hide roll, Johnny, as you go to do that.
Ooh.
Just imagine, like, April's just doing like pleasantries, like, trying to. Cause he seems so spooked, and he seems like a nice kid, even though I don't remember him from any of my classes.
Use a gilded dice.
Maybe it's a good thing I don't remember him. Because,
Hell yeah, good old 6. It has a 90 symbol, but 6. Yeah. On the gilded dice.
On a 6, the two of you, I think. Yeah, you successfully are just looking at the time, and you get a very good look through the viewfinder as he's now just like kind of pacing back and forth in front of the windows, chatting with April. And the two of you note immediately as you look at this conversation, it's still like his outline that is filled with bleed. And then as light comes in through the windows, you see even more bleed, but like out along the length of specifically his shadow, not his body, like behind him. And he keeps talking to you, April.
I feel like I'm going to whisper to Johnny. I feel like we need to take him to hallowed grounds.
Okay. We'll take him to Hollow again. Should we warn the next door doctor? Maybe they
We
have
can.
any ideas.
I think Dr. Ravenwood can follow up
Okay.
with Dr. Wanderley.
Okay.
Johnny? Or no, sorry, I don't know. I don't know this kid's name. I don't know his name.
Slater.
Mr. Slate.
Mr. Slate, you can also just call me Jonathan. You
Oh,
said your name was
Jonathan.
Johnny, right?
Yeah, look at us, the Johns.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I feel like you could really use a coffee.
Honestly, yeah. I would love that. Do you know a good place to get any?
I do, in fact. Why don't you come with us?
Yeah.
The three of you start heading over back towards hallowed grounds.
The four of us.
The four of you. I'm going to ask one person to make a move roll for me.
Okay.
And it can be whoever y'all think has the best move.
I have
You mean for sway? Or
no,
what do you
move?
Move and nerve.
for the
move.
process
Okay.
of moving across the city.
Gotcha.
I selected that, like with the check mark. What does that mean? I know I have 2 dice and what.
One of them is a gilded.
2 dice and one of them is gilded.
Cool. I could do that. Just nominating myself, but is that
No, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Good, because 6, but not ungilded.
Nice. The three of you in that case, what that results in is that you are able to kind of clatter out of the apothecary, hail a carriage, and get back partway across the city pretty speedily. And you arrive at hallowed grounds maybe around 5:30 as the sun is starting to properly set. And the shop is closed. Camille gives you a little nod, Zendia, as she heads out, flipping the sign to closed on the door.
Did Mr. Ravenwood already stop by?
No, I don't believe he has come in yet. I think he left around 1 p.m., said he would be back after hours. I assumed you would be here to let him in.
Okay. Yeah, I will let him in when he comes.
Wonderful. Have a lovely night. Everything went
Have
well
a
here.
lovely night. All right.
Have a good night, Camille.
She gives you a little curtsy and kind of runs off looking a bit flushed in the cheeks. Just a little bit. And all of you enter into hallowed grounds. And what are you doing while you're waiting there? Jonathan is looking around kind of dazed. And April, you notice he's kind of blinking a lot and rubbing at his eyes.
We're going to give him some coffee. Sit him down with a warm chocolate chip cookie. I think we're actually going to skip the coffee. We're going to go with the tea.
He takes it and is very happily just, especially in the carriage ride over here. All three of you have watched him go from do the very recognizable slip that I think all of you would recognize from customer service shiny persona to, oh God, I'm so tired, and finally nice people are here. And so he is just scarfing down on a chocolate chip cookie, blithely unaware that at least two of you are giving him very strange looks.
I will let April and Johnny talk for a minute while I ask him about his family, where he came from, so on and so forth.
Yeah, yeah, Johnny is gonna also like make sure to lock the front door too, just in case. I don't know, just to show that it's still closed casually as he goes to April to talk to him. Say,
what?
hey, you can you help me in the back get some beans?
Yeah, she's gonna go back there. She doesn't. Nobody filled her in at any point.
Yeah, like Johnny's about to do it now. So he's like, I think we found our nightshade thing that's in the boy shadows.
I don't know what to do with that information.
uh, I thought I should warn you that it might be maybe a fight or it might be an awkward evening ahead of us right now.
Thanks. She really doesn't know what to do. She's like, great. I don't know how to
I
solve
I think
that.
Johnny, you should be like, I sense a blossoming kinship between the
I
two
just
of you, and I just wanted to warn you.
I know you guys are
Just
really
go,
good friends,
go.
and I just wanted to warn you about it. But like, my idea is shadows. I don't know if we need to fight it with light. I don't know. That might get rid of it. I don't know, but I want to keep you in the loop for you and your dear friend.
Thanks, I guess.
You're welcome. I'll look at you. He just pats her. Yeah, is your ankle okay?
It's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just go.
All right. Okay, he goes
Before
back
he
in
breaks things.
Uh, Jonathan Slate is still just sitting, having this lovely conversation with you, Sandhya. And at one point in the middle of just very freely has answered like everything you've told him, kind of stops and looks around and looks back at you. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's been a really long day. Didn't you say that I should go see the doctor, but now we're here?
Don't worry.
There is a different doctor that I feel is better suited to help you.
Oh,
Mhm.
He
okay.
should be here any minute now. And I look out the window for Dr. Ravenwood.
You do not yet see any sign of him.
Exciting.
Are there phones? Are there phones?
We canonized that earlier. Let's
Yeah,
say
we
there's
did.
potatoes.
I you just give me a minute and I go ring up whoever I can ring up to get Dr. Ravenwood here sooner rather than later.
Give me a. Ooh, what do I want this to be? Let's say a focus roll
Focus roll. All right.
as you mess with the phones.
That is a 4. That is a 4.
On a 4, you pick up the phone and start doing the dialing process, and you have like a number at which to reach or at least leave a message for Dr. Ravenwood. You know, it doesn't always go directly to him, but it's better than nothing. And you're in the process of punching that in, and the kind of big rotary phone that you've got, I think, behind the counter is pretty loud, and makes a lot of click clacking sounds. So you're in the process of doing that, and you notice out of the corner of your eye that at sort of the loud ringing and the clank of metal, that Jonathan is kind of still holding his forehead and eventually kind of just puts his head down on the table like he's taking a nap. And the phone goes up to your ears and you hear the beginning of of something you're familiar with, I think, which is a very little this is our Office of Obscure Artifacts, which you know is a cover for Candela. How may we help you today? And as you're listening to that beginning intro message, behind Jonathan, in the space behind this front like the booth that you've placed him in, he's leaned forward kind of onto his arms, and his shadow's kind of up against the wall of the booth, thrown back by the little light on the table. And you note, as with no sound at all, the only sound is in your ear and your friends talking in the back room, from the wall of the booth, you see something long and spindly, like a hand, start to reach out of the shadows towards him. And then another limb, and another, and another, as
Is
something
reaching
starts
toward
to very
him?
quickly reach towards him, as if to grab him.
I throw flash powder to wake him up.
Delightful. Give me a, I'm going to say a strike roll.
Okay. I'm gonna
As you chuck flash powder across the counter.
I'm gonna use a drive.
You got this.
I'm gonna use another drive. Oh god, I'm gonna use my third drive.
You got this.
The D6s really don't like y'all.
That is a 3.
Can I get one more drive?
I think because you were in the back room, I'm having a different conversation. I'm going to say no for the moment.
Okay.
And
Can
what
I
that?
use a resistance to
Yeah,
protect
go for
myself?
it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I have a resistance to protect myself from whatever goes
Yeah.
wrong here.
For resistance here, you would re-roll the base number of dice that you would use,
Okay.
rather than.
One more. Okay.
Woo.
Okay, that's a 4.
Nice. That's better than a 3.
Okay.
Your flash powder goes streaking out across the room, and it looks for a minute like it's going to land on essentially a cloth drape and start setting stuff on fire, but hits the corner of the booth near him, and Jonathan starts awake just in time for several dozen long, almost skeletal hands to clamp around him, digging their nails in from his shadow, and start to yank him backwards very violently. Both of you in the back room hear
Johnny! April!
hear screaming and thumping.
Oh gosh, I think we're too late.
So I run toward the front.
Writhing mass of arms and hands with very sharp, almost blade-like nails that have dug into him and seem to be trying to take him to pieces.
Ugh.
What do the two of you do?
Let's see.
What can I do? I'm going to run at this guy. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh.
Just add Jonathan, Mr. Slate.
Sure.
I keep forgetting what I should call him.
Sure, I guess.
What are you attempting to do?
I want to see if there's like a way to like separate the two, like physically get him. I mean, I'm trying to get him away from his own. Actually, here's what I got. Johnny has told me something about shadows. I'm visibly seeing that right now.
Mhm.
I have a camera. I assume it has a flashbulb. We're going to say that I take a photography elective course, and I've had this the
100%.
entire. It's on my gear list. It's on my gear list. The camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
You call,
will.
Here when you need it.
I will like panic because I'm like, oh god, shadows, and I will try to flashbulb this.
Yeah, I think you can just
like
like
flash.
hit it.
Yeah, like a flash, like flash fill the space in an attempt to like stun the thing, get rid of the shadow. I don't know. Buy any time for our Johnny to figure something out. She's not the physical person here.
Amazing. I'm going to say, give me. This can either be a strike or a focus roll, depending on how you want to approach this, as like a precision instrument versus a weapon. both of which are valid.
I'm gonna do a focus roll. I'm gonna burn 2 drives for that.
Hey!
Oh no, there's a 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey!
Yay.
The rest are all 4s.
The saga of your D6 pool is very
I
dear to
don't
me.
Love
know.
it. We love character development.
Ah!
You pull up the camera and manage to send off that flash, and you see almost immediately like almost like I can't think of the word, like a zip, like a blind string retracting when you pull it down to pull up lines. Many, not all of them, but almost all of the arms around Mr. Slate's torso kind of retract backwards, is physically backing away further into the shadows from the light, and he falls forward, hits his head on the edge of the table, I think, but falls forward and to the side, scrambling away from this.
Can I catch
so
him?
It's really, I'll say, give me a move roll to catch him.
Okay.
As Johnny, what are you doing?
Yeah. So
6.
is like the shadow, I know it's like off of him, is like still active, like in the air, or just back on the ground, or how's the shadow looking?
It is, looking at it kind of bends your mind for a second because it's not working the way that normal 3D things should work. It looks like the creature, whatever eldritch creature this is that is coming out of this shadow, and perhaps recently came out of a monument, is currently, you're very lucky because Jonathan was sitting in a booth, and so it's up against that back wall where his back would be resting, essentially clinging to that. And it looks like it's trying to almost slither out of the booth after him, but it's restrained there in this moment, having been thrown back by the flashbulb.
Gotcha. I selected a hand weapon, and it is like flashlights or crank flashlights things invented during this time.
Yeah. I think hand lights are totally plausible.
Yeah, so I think like Johnny will have a very heavy one, and it starts like trying to crank up the light of it. And he said, shadow being, not gonna do this.
Are you trying to shine the light on it, hit it with the light, or both?
Both. Like shine and stun, smack.
Nice. I love that. Give me a strike or control. I like having options for skills. There's many ways to do a thing.
I do strike because I got a dice pool of 2 already on there, and I'll use a drive. All my drives are there. Give me something good. Okay, cool. That was so stressful for a moment because I had 2 1s, but I got a 5 on the gilded.
You, I think in one motion, or maybe like you swing the light onto this, and then almost in my mind swing back the other way.
Back, I say. Back.
Yeah, I love that. And you watch. You don't think in your first attempt to get at this thing, you watch the light pass over it, that it's unable to shrink from this time as it was from the flashbulb, and everywhere that the light touches these skeletal arms, they freeze kind of in place, caught in the middle of that beam, partway out of the shadows, unable to retract further. And they start trying to break out of the freeze, where you've essentially pinned them with this beam of light, but not quickly enough, as you're then able to come back in the other direction and scatter just chunks of what look like bone and metal and stone go flying across the back 3 booths of Hallowed Grounds, as you whack this creature both out of the shadow and into pieces completely.
Can I have a cookie jar that is a bleed containment disguised as a cookie jar. And I just like go in with a broom and like start sweeping it up and putting it in the cookie jar.
Absolutely. You start sweeping this up with great aplomb, having also just caught Jonathan and stopped him from honestly.
Yeah, and then we just
fully
lie him on the
concussing
floor.
himself.
Just lie him on the floor.
He's like got some blood all over him, but you have caught him. You caught him prior to honestly, truly, possibly knocking himself out mid-fall. And he's now just kind of on his back, staring at the booth with great terror. All of you remember that this guy does not know magic exists. For reals.
Okay, does the situation seem contained?
It does, honestly. Almost as soon as it arrives, you, within the past 30 seconds, you sprinted out to screaming and almost death, and now Sundhya is sweeping a shadow monster into a cookie jar.
Yeah, I'm not gonna roleplay the whole conversation, but I'm gonna try to keep this kid calm while we wait for our lightkeeper. Like, yeah, maybe patch him up or something. I don't know what I'm doing. Try to basically what I was doing in the shop. Like I'm calming down an anxious horse, basically.
Yeah.
The analogy
Johnny, grab the phone that's still open and tell Ravenwood to get his butt over here.
Oh yeah, I will. Johnny pick it up, tap the phone, and said, "Doc, you needed to get here now. Situation contained."
You hear from the other end of the phone line. You realize the phone line has been open for the past 30 seconds, and the poor doctor has heard like scream, scream, fire, scream, camera, yelling, scream, and he just goes, Johnny,
Yeah,
is everything all right? Did you just say situation contained?
yeah, we contained the shadow beast. Kids safe, so that's a win in my book, and we're sweeping it up in a cookie jar right now.
I do not know what any of that means, but I will be there very shortly to find out. Oh dear, and the phone goes dead.
It seems like we did a good job, gang. And he hangs up the phone proudly.
April, you are very successful. Talking to an anxious horse is the most apt analogy for talking to this poor guy. The absolute best analogy you could possibly have. You are able to keep him from fully panicking at the discovery of magic, which he was very close to doing, you realize. And about 10 minutes later, the door actually doesn't open. You hear somebody try the door handle, and then the sound of some sort of key in the lock, and very quickly, too quickly for somebody to have even lockpicked that, Dr. Ravenwood steps in and looks at you holding the cookie jar and just kind of raises an eyebrow.
I'm glad to see the key works.
Great job, yo.
Thank you for the key. So what happened here? You're all alive. Actually, no. I mean, you're all alive. Wonderful. Well done. You have a new friend. Delightful. Have you figured out what was murdering people? Wonderful. And has that been stopped? And he looks at the cookie jar full of like bone and blood.
Yes, it has been stopped.
Grand. Well, that's the major points, and we can cover the rest over some cookies, I think. But goodness gracious, well done.
She opens the jar, not from this jar.
I'll get cookies in the back.
I will start filling out that paperwork momentarily for your assignment to make sure it is recorded and your wonderful job is done. Do you have a circle name in mind currently, or would you like me to continue putting that in as a blank? Or as the Christiansens? I can put in the Christiansens. He looks over at April. The circle of not the Christiansens.
The circle of coffee and spice.
Hey, I'm down.
I guess.
Delightful.
Filmmaking.
And he writes that down. And as he writes that down, April, your like little, I'm going to say it's partially Polaroid because technology is whatever. Your camera starts to print a series of pictures that just like 3 in progress snapshots of everybody running in the middle of this monster, and you have like 4 Polaroids of mid battle, all of you.
Perfect.
You can go on the fridge.
Ugh.
A family photo.
Ugh.
And with that, I think we will conclude our lovely adventure for the night.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Let's do outros really quick. Everyone, please say who you were again, who you are, who you were, who you yet will be. I don't know. And where you can be found. Let's go in reverse order. Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina. That is she, her. I'm trying to figure out where you can find me on Twitter at _GinaFan. I am going to be on Sword and Key, I think, on July 7th for our finale for our charity game for Trans Lifeline. You can still donate to that. It's kind of weird to promote that on a totally different channel, but it's a charity game. I think that's the 7th. We have a scheduling. We rescheduled it, so I don't know when it is anymore.
Yeah.
I'm real bad at scheduling. It's going to be pre-recorded, so I might be in the chat for that.
Woo!
Moving on.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then there's me. I'm Taylor, aka Spunky Taylor. You can find me on all socials as Spunky Taylor. So on Twitch, I'm Spunky Taylor Games. If you want to see more of my face, you can see me next Wednesday on the finale of Camp Metaview and stuff. I'm gonna be all glammed up for it, and yeah, it's good. As I'll be that's on Game Master Monday. So if you're not tired of seeing this good old face, see you next week.
Hi, I'm Zoop or Supriya. Pronouns are she, her. And you can check out my card, zoopmachine.card, CARRD.co, to find out where I am. I am on Wednesdays on Beggar Street, in currently GMing Demigods, and on Fridays in a Monster of the Week game called Primeval Haunts. And yeah, definitely feel free to hit me up if you want to play a game.
Yeah. And I am Emma. I have been your GM this evening. I can be found currently on no social medias, but playing many a game, many a place. I do not believe I have any imminent ones coming up, but I may also possibly be found at Gen Con soon. We will see. Announcements. This week, the weekend of June 29th and June 30th, Nerds with Dice is running games to raise money for the Transgender Law Center. Some of those games that will be starting Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern with Numbskulls, 4 p.m. Eastern with Queer Z. On Sunday, oh, those are both Saturday, my apologies. Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern with Passion de la Pasiones. I believe I pronounced that wrong. My apologies. And Exceptionals. And then 8 p.m. Eastern with Vecna Nest of the Eldritch Eye. And that sounds delightful. Check out YouTube for more adventures with Nerds with Dice. Run very, very cool games. And if you have a story to tell or a game to showcase of your own, the creator app for Nerds with Dice is open and can be found on Twitter/X or Blue Sky or asked for in the Discord. And finally, after this, I believe we are raiding High Shelf Collective. So stick around for that and join in on that. Other than that, thank you so much, everybody, for playing with me and a lovely and scary and spooky and steampunky evening.